You've been told your whole life to be patient. Be patient with your career. Be patient with your investments. Be patient with building your audience. Be patient with the process. And most of the time, when people say that to you, what they really mean is wait quietly and don't complain. Endure. Tolerate. Sit still and hope things eventually work out. But I want to challenge that definition today because that version of patience, that's not patience at all. That's passivity dressed up in a virtue's clothing. Real patience, the kind that actually produces results in your finances, in your use of AI, in your business, in your life, is something completely different. Patience is not high tolerance. It is disciplined tolerance aligned with purpose. Read that slowly. Because there is a world of difference between someone who tolerates waiting and someone who tolerates the process because they know exactly where they're going. One is endurance. The other is strategy. Unpack AI's wealth-building secrets and how to develop the specific kind of patience that actually moves you forward instead of keeping you stuck in comfortable waiting. Let's get into it.
Ghost Capital Yield is a resource designed to enhance individual and organizational performance. It operates by providing strategic insights, which are defined as wisdom. It also fosters the drive for execution, embodying motivation. This combination facilitates improved outcomes and superior results in various endeavors. The time to lock in is now.
You've been told your whole life to be patient. Be patient with your career. Be patient with your investments. Be patient with building your audience. Be patient with the process. And most of the time, when people say that to you, what they really mean is wait quietly and don't complain. Endure, tolerate, sit still and hope things eventually work out. But I want to challenge that definition today because that version of patience, that's not patience at all. That's passivity dressed up in a virtue's clothing. Real patience, the kind that actually produces results in your finances, in your use of AI, in your business, in your life, is something completely different. Patience is not high tolerance. It is disciplined tolerance aligned with purpose. Read that slowly, because there is a world of difference between someone who tolerates waiting and someone who tolerates the process because they know exactly where they're going. One is endurance. The other is strategy. Today, we're going to break down what that distinction means, why it matters enormously when building wealth and leveraging AI, and how to develop the specific kind of patience that actually moves you forward instead of keeping you stuck in comfortable waiting. Let's get into it. Let's start by being honest about what most people mean when they say they're being patient. They mean they're waiting. They mean they haven't quit yet. They mean they're tolerating discomfort without necessarily doing anything about it. They mean they've accepted that results are slow and they've made peace with that. For now, that is high tolerance. And high tolerance has some value. It keeps you from making rash decisions, from panic selling your investments, from abandoning a strategy the moment it gets uncomfortable. But high tolerance alone has a critical flaw. It has no direction. High tolerance is waiting at a bus stop without knowing which bus you need. You're being very patient. You're not complaining. You're enduring the cold. But if you don't know your destination, you might board the wrong bus entirely and ride it patiently all the way to somewhere you never intended to go. This is what happens to most people in their financial lives. They tolerate a job that underpays them patiently for years without ever building the skills, investments, or income streams that create an exit. They're not impatient. They're extremely tolerant. But that tolerance is directionless. It's not aligned with any specific purpose or outcome. So the years pass, the tolerance accumulates, and one day they look up and realize waiting didn't build anything. It just consumed time. The same pattern shows up with AI. People see the technology advancing around them. They tolerate the feeling of being behind, of not quite understanding it, of meaning to learn it eventually. That's tolerance. But it's not disciplined. It's not aligned with a specific goal. So the tolerance just becomes a long, comfortable delay that masquerades as patience. Here's what I need you to internalize before we go any further. Patience without purpose is just postponement, and postponement is one of the most expensive habits a person can have, especially when it comes to money and technology, where time and compound growth are the most powerful forces available to you. So what separates disciplined tolerance from plain endurance? 3 things: clarity, action, and measurement. Clarity means you know precisely what you're being patient toward. not a vague wish, a defined outcome. I want to be wealthy someday is not clarity. I am building a portfolio that reaches $250,000 over the next 10 years by investing $400 per month in index funds is clarity. The patience required to execute that plan is discipline because it has a target. Every month you contribute is a deliberate act of moving towards something specific. Action means discipline. Tolerance is never passive. This is the part people miss. True patience in the context of building wealth or a YouTube channel or an AI skill set means you are actively working the process while you wait for results to appear. You're posting consistently while the algorithm hasn't noticed you yet. You're contributing to your investment account while the market does nothing for 18 months. You're prompting AI tools daily while you're still learning what they can do for you. The results are delayed, but the actions are constant. Measurement means you track progress in ways that are decoupled from outcomes you can't control. You can't control when YouTube decides to push your video. You can't control what the stock market does this quarter, but you can track. Did I post this week? Did I invest this month? Did I learn one new AI application this week? Discipline tolerance measures what you can control and uses that data to sustain motivation during the long stretches where external results are invisible. Put those three elements together and you get patience that actually functions like a wealth building tool because it keeps you in the game long enough for compounding to work, long enough for the algorithm to reward consistency, long enough for your AI skills to accumulate into genuine leverage. And here's the insight that ties it all together. Discipline is what transforms tolerance from a burden into a strategy. Without discipline, tolerance feels like suffering. With discipline, tolerance feels like investment. The discomfort is the same, the meaning is completely different. Let's get specific about finance, because this is where the misunderstanding about patience is most costly. The most powerful force in personal finance is compound growth. You've probably heard this. Einstein allegedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. But what people don't fully appreciate is that compound growth is almost entirely invisible for the first several years. Here's what the math actually looks like. If you invest $400 per month starting today at an average 8% annual return, after year one, roughly $5,000. Not exciting. After year three, roughly $16,000. Still not dramatic. After year five, roughly $29,000. Getting there. After year 10, roughly $73,000. Now it's moving. After year 20, roughly $235,000. Now it's transformational. After year 30, roughly $600,000. Generational. The growth in year 25 is greater than the total amount you accumulated in the first 12 years combined. The back half of the curve is where all the magic lives. But you only get there by tolerating the flat, uninspiring early years with disciplined consistency. Most people quit somewhere in year 2 or 3, not because they lack patience, they've been tolerating slow growth just fine, but because their tolerance isn't aligned with understanding why the early years are supposed to look this way. They don't have the clarity piece. So when results feel slow, they interpret that as the strategy failing rather than the strategy working exactly as designed. This is why patience aligned with purpose is so different from plain tolerance. When you understand the compound curve, when your purpose is clearly tied to a 2-0-year outcome, the slow early years don't shake you. They confirm that you're on track. The patience becomes almost effortless because it's informed. The same principle applies to building a YouTube channel. The growth curve for a new channel looks almost identical to a compound investment curve. Flat for months, then gradual, then suddenly accelerating in ways that feel disproportionate to the effort you're currently putting in. That acceleration is the payoff for all the consistent effort you put in during the flat period. Every creator who quit at month 4 was standing at the base of that curve. Every creator who kept going consistently with clear purpose eventually hit the inflection point where the algorithm started working for them instead of them working against obscurity. Discipline tolerance aligned with purpose means you understand the curve. You know the flat part is normal. You stay in the game. Now let's talk about something that might seem contradictory, practicing patience in a world where AI is accelerating everything. AI tools can produce a video script in minutes. AI can generate thumbnail concepts, research topics, draft emails, analyze financial data, and automate tasks that used to take hours. So why are we talking about patience in an AI context? Because the temptation AI creates, the real danger for anyone trying to build something meaningful is the illusion that speed replaces strategy. Yes, AI can accelerate your output, but it cannot accelerate the trust your audience builds with you over time. It cannot accelerate the credibility that comes from consistently showing up in someone's feed for 2 years. It cannot accelerate the compounding of your investment portfolio. It cannot replace the depth of understanding you develop by actually engaging with financial concepts, failing, adjusting, and growing. What AI can do, and this is where disciplined patience and AI intersect powerfully, is eliminate the friction that causes most people to quit during the patient phase. Think about it. One of the biggest reasons new YouTube creators stop posting consistently isn't laziness. It's the overwhelming production burden. Researching a topic, writing a script, editing, creating a thumbnail, writing a description, optimizing for SEO for one person, that can be a 10, 15-hour process per video. That's unsustainable alongside a full-time job and a life. AI collapses that timeline dramatically. With the right workflow, using AI for research, scripting, SEO optimization, and thumbnail ideation, a solo creator can produce quality, long-form content in a fraction of the time. That means the discipline required to stay consistent becomes far more achievable. So the relationship between patience and AI is this. AI doesn't replace the need for patience. It removes the obstacles that make patience hard to maintain. You still need to show up consistently for months before the algorithm rewards you. You still need to keep posting when early videos get 40 views. You still need to trust the process. But AI gives you back the time and energy to actually do that without burning out. The creators and investors who will win over the next decade are not the ones who use AI to move the fastest. They're the ones who use AI to stay consistent the longest, because consistency over time is still and will always be the ultimate competitive advantage. Patience aligned with purpose, powered by AI. That is the formula. Let's make this actionable, because understanding the concept is only valuable if it changes what you actually do. Here's how to build discipline tolerance, aligned with purpose in your own life. Step 1. Define your purpose with specificity. Vague goals generate vague patience, which collapses under pressure. Write down your specific financial target, your specific channel goal, your specific AI skill you want to develop. Attach a timeline to it. I want to reach 10,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of next year is a purpose. I want to grow my channel is a wish. Only purposes can anchor discipline. Step 2. Map the curve. Whatever you're building, look at what the growth trajectory actually looks like for people who've done it before. Find the data. Understand that the early flatness is not failure, it's the foundation. When you know that successful channels typically look dead for the first 6 months before breaking out, those 6 months feel like progress instead of punishment. Step 3. Build process-based habits, not outcome-based ones. Don't measure your patience by results you can't control. Measure it by behaviors you can. Post every week, that's a behavior. Invest every month, that's a behavior. Spend 30 minutes with an AI tool every day, that's a behavior. Outcomes will follow behaviors over time. But in the short term, your behaviors are the only legitimate scorecard. Step 4. Create accountability checkpoints. Every 90 days, review what you've built, not to judge whether you've made it, but to confirm that your actions are aligned with your purpose. Are you posting consistently? Are your videos improving? Is your investment account growing? Is your comfort with AI tools expanding? These checkpoints are not for self-criticism. They are navigation tools to keep you calibrated. Step 5. Protect your patience from noise. One of the biggest threats to discipline tolerance is comparison, especially online. Someone in your niche blows up overnight. Someone else is already at 100K subscribers. Someone else made $50,000 last month. That noise will erode your patience faster than anything else if you let it. Curate your inputs ruthlessly. Study success for lessons, not for comparison. Your timeline is yours. Your purpose is yours. Your patience needs to be yours too. I want to leave you with this image. 2 people start the exact same journey on the same day. Same niche, same starting knowledge, same resources. They even use the same AI tools. Person 1 has high tolerance. They wait. They post when inspired. They invest when it feels right. They learn AI when they get around to it. They're not impatient. They're just undirected. Their tolerance is real, but it's not working toward anything specific. Person 2 has discipline tolerance aligned with purpose. They post every single week, even when it's hard. They invest every single month even when the market looks scary. They use AI tools daily even when the learning curve is frustrating. They know exactly where they're going, and every action is a deliberate step in that direction. In month 3, these two people look almost identical. Same subscriber count, similar portfolio size, similar AI skill level. In month 12, there's a gap. Person 2 is pulling ahead not dramatically, but measurably. In year 3, the gap is a canyon, not because person 2 is smarter, not because they had better luck, but because their patience was working the entire time. Every day they spent tolerating slow results was a day of compound investment in a future that was always coming. They just needed to stay in the game long enough to receive it. Patience is not high tolerance. It is disciplined tolerance aligned with purpose. And that distinction, that one reframe, can change everything about how you build your wealth, your channel, your skills, and ultimately your life. So here's what I want you to do right now before you close this video. Define one area of your life where you've been practicing high tolerance, just enduring, just waiting without clear purpose behind it. And ask yourself, what would disciplined tolerance look like in that area? What's the specific outcome? What's the daily behavior that moves you toward it? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and I want to know what you're building. If this video gave you something real, subscribe, because this channel is dedicated to helping you build financial knowledge, use AI as genuine leverage, and develop the mindset that makes all of it sustainable long term. Everything I mentioned today is linked in the description below. I'll see you in the next one.